The image of Meghan Markle as a poised, progressive Duchess crumbles further with every revelation from behind palace and corporate doors. While her public persona is carefully polished, championing causes, speaking of compassion, and presenting herself as a victim of royal coldness, the accounts from those who have worked under her paint an entirely different picture. 20 staff members, in what has been described as a coordinated exodus, have walked away, unable to tolerate her alleged monster boss behavior. What's emerging is a pattern of calculated cruelty, micromanagement, and psychological warfare that has left a trail of disillusioned employees in its wake. From the start, Meghan Markle positioned herself as a humanitarian with a mission to uplift the voiceless. But insiders who worked closely with her say this image is little more than a stage-managed facade. Staff members have recounted incidents where Meghan's demands were not just excessive but demeaning, designed to break the confidence of her team rather than build it. While the public saw her smiling at charity events and advocating for women's empowerment, behind closed doors, those same women were allegedly reduced to tears by her relentless criticism. Former aides described the working environment as toxic, claiming Meghan's mood swings dictated the rhythm of the day. According to one ex-employee, "We were walking on eggshells every single hour. Nothing was ever good enough for her, and if you dared push back, you were done." The breaking point came when, over a span of months, 20 staff members resigned in protest. This was not the quiet turnover of individuals finding better opportunities. It was, according to sources, a coordinated escape from what they described as an unbearable regime. Employees reportedly confided in each other before making the decision, finding solidarity in their shared experiences of humiliation, overwork, and impossible standards. One insider revealed, it wasn't just about long hours. It was about the psychological toll. Meghan treated her staff like disposable tools. People were shouted at, belittled, and sometimes ignored entirely until she needed them. After a while, you realize it's not worth sacrificing your mental health for someone who thrives on control. What exactly were these alleged tactics that drove staff to the brink? Several patterns have been identified by those who spoke anonymously. Micromanagement. Meghan reportedly scrutinized the smallest details of projects, often undoing hours of work with a single cutting remark. Emotional manipulation. Staff described a cycle of love bombing followed by cold hostility, leaving them confused and constantly seeking approval. Unrealistic demands. Employees were allegedly expected to be on call at all hours, sometimes for trivial tasks like perfecting email wording or adjusting font sizes in presentations. Public shaming. Mistakes, however minor, were often called out in front of colleagues. It was designed to humiliate, one ex-staffer explained. Divide and conquer. Meghan reportedly pitted staff against one another, rewarding loyalty with temporary favor while sidelining those who questioned her. Interestingly, this isn't the first time Meghan has faced accusations of tyrannical leadership. Back when she and Prince Harry were still within the royal fold, palace insiders spoke of her harsh treatment of Kensington Palace staff. Reports of aides reduced to tears, resignations piling up, and whispered warnings of a difficult Duchess were dismissed by her defenders as racist smear campaigns. Yet, with similar complaints now arising in her ventures outside royal life, the pattern seems impossible to ignore. A former royal aide once said, "You don't lose that many staff in such a short period unless something is seriously wrong." Meghan has this ability to charm the cameras, but she doesn't extend that kindness to the people working for her. Even in Hollywood, Meghan's reputation has reportedly been tainted by her management style. Sources from her acting days recall that she was considered ambitious to the point of ruthless, often willing to alienate colleagues in pursuit of advancement. While ambition in itself isn't a crime, the way it manifests, especially in mistreatment of subordinates, paints a far darker picture. The paradox is glaring. Meghan presents herself as a modern advocate for workplace wellness, yet her own employees have described experiences of burnout, anxiety, and depression while under her leadership. The question becomes, how can someone advocate for compassion in public while presiding over what has been described as an internal dictatorship? Observers have also raised concerns about the impact this environment has had on Prince Harry. Once known as the approachable royal with a cheeky sense of humor, he now appears increasingly tense and defensive in public. Insiders speculate that being immersed in Meghan's all-or-nothing atmosphere has changed him profoundly. One source bluntly stated, "Harry has adopted Meghan's combative approach. He doesn't just defend her, he attacks anyone who dares question her, even when the evidence against her is overwhelming." Some may dismiss these accounts as mere workplace drama, but the stakes are much higher. Meghan and Harry built their post-royal brand on authenticity, compassion, and progressive values. If the foundation of their operations is exploitation and toxic leadership, then the credibility of everything they stand for collapses. This isn't just about disgruntled employees, it's about the integrity of a public figure who has demanded global attention and influence. Critics argue that Meghan's leadership style reflects not just poor management, but a dangerous cult of personality. She is said to require absolute loyalty, and anyone who fails to fall in line is quickly discarded. This authoritarian approach mirrors the very royal rigidity she claims to have fled from, raising the question, did Meghan reject the monarchy's constraints, only to create her own monarchy where she reigns supreme? Perhaps most telling is Meghan's response to these allegations: silence, or carefully crafted statements dismissing critics as liars with ulterior motives. By framing every criticism as an attack rooted in racism or sexism, Meghan avoids addressing the specific, repeated complaints about her behavior. This strategy, while effective in shielding her public image, leaves the voices of those who suffered under her management unheard and invalidated. The resignation of 20 employees in one exodus is not a minor hiccup, it's a damning indictment of Meghan Markle's leadership. While she continues to present herself as a champion of compassion and empowerment, the reality described by those who worked under her is one of toxicity, fear, and relentless pressure. The world may still be captivated by Meghan's polished interviews and high-profile appearances, but the cracks in the facade are becoming harder to ignore. For every speech about kindness, there are staffers who recall moments of cruelty. For every glamorous appearance, there is a trail of broken employees who couldn't take it anymore. If Meghan truly wants to live up to the values she preaches, the first step would be to confront these allegations with honesty, accountability, and reform. Until then, the title of Monster Boss may well stick and haunt her every step forward.